So today we are here to talk about, it's a new year, everyone. Amina, how is it?
It's good. It's a new year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we're just trying to have conversation around the new year, how to start the year on a good footing, setting the right foot forward, and having a blissful year at the end of the year. So with me here, I have financial literacy experts, a banker par excellence, a financial trainer, CBN governor in the making. Yeah. So everything, leadership coach, everything, she has it all together.
Really.
Welcome, Amina, to today's podcast.
Thank you, Kamaka.
I know it's been so hard to track you down. I'm so sorry. Today we're going to talk about how to set the goals right, how to start the year on a right footing to make sure we have a fulfilled year, filled with positivity and filled with achievements that we'll be very proud of at the end of the year. So, I mean, I want us to have this conversation with you being very, should I say?
I was going to even say you're too serious.
I'm too serious.
Be calming down.
Okay, no problems. Okay, I mean, I know you are the financial guru. And I don't want us to be all about finance in today's series. I want us to talk about touch different areas, and you being the expert that you are, to bring in such professional insights that will help our listeners start the year right. With my first question today is, I want Amina to give us, I heard a lot of people saying 2023 was such a bad year. It was filled with lots of traumas, lots of anxieties, stress, and everything. I want to know, can you give us an insight into what 2023 was for you?
Oh, wow. Now you tried it to me about me.
Yeah.
Okay, 2023 for me was a bit... I started a new challenge, which I'm sure you're familiar about, being that I changed environment.
Yeah.
And changing the environment was sort of a new challenge, which I found it really good. Okay, so before that time, I'd always wanted to do something a bit different. I needed a break. So I'm talking personally now because you asked me personally, right? So I wanted something different. I wanted to do a change. I wanted to do something different. And that was why I started a fresh master's, in leadership. And I took that course because one of the major things I noticed in the Nigerian environment, especially, was that we had a problem with leadership. And I am not just talking about the government here. I'm talking about leadership in different organizations, different spheres, public sector, private sector, just basically the way we do our things, which also affects the followership, the structure of the organization, the system. So for me, I wanted to do that course, and I wanted to do it in a different environment. So I took that step. Yeah. So 2023 for me was doing something different. Was different from, you said I was in banking, and you can imagine me doing commercial banking for over 7 years. Yeah. And then going to other forms of financial management, financial literacy trainings and all that. It was back to back, and I needed that break. And I'm glad I took that break to learn about leadership. Yeah. So one of the things of 2023, which I'm going to just stop here so that we can continue, so I don't dwell too much about me, was that I was able to plan.
Oh, good.
And now I'm not going to say that people who had it rough didn't plan. Yeah. I'm not going to even say that at all. I had challenges in 2023 because even with budgeting and saving and all that, I found out that it was a different ballgame when the year started to unfold. Yeah. The dollar started to increase in front of us like this. It was like magic. Yeah. At a point, I said, see, there has to be some manipulation going on somewhere. Yeah. So those things happened. So those were challenges that came along the way. But planning helped. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It really helped. So I'll just stop there so that we can go into other things.
Thank you. I love when you said... you also, I like your vulnerability though, that you also had a fair share of the stress of the not so good story of 2023. However, thank God we rose above it.
Absolutely.
We rose above it. But what lesson can you say you learned that 2023 taught you?
Okay. Before 2023, of course, I'm a financial literacy trainer, and I used to do a lot of financial literacy training. Yeah. I still do for women. Right. So one of the major courses or one of the major topics that we emphasize on is number one, identifying your needs and wants. Number two, saving.
Yeah.
Number 3, investment. Because I mean, you can never go wrong with having fallback funds.
Exactly.
You can never go wrong. I always preach fallback funds as if it is my second assignment.
Yeah.
Because we went through COVID. I'll use COVID as an example here. In the year COVID came, by March, COVID came into Nigeria in March, I remember vividly. In 2 weeks in COVID, we're already doing fundraising for people.
Wow.
So in the different groups, I'm sure many of you belong to different WhatsApp. People like, oh, so person, no, please let's raise money for so person, both in the church and outside the church. I found that really touching. Because, and I'm not saying that, I mean, everybody, you know, it came on us.
Yeah.
It came on us. But there was a place of fallback funds.
Yeah.
We were locked up in the houses. We had to order online. A lot of people, we had to raise money for people who couldn't work to get money.
Yeah.
And I now started to look at those people that we're raising money for. These are people that wear jewelries, have human hair that was expensive. Don't get me wrong, I like fine things too. But I saw a research by a foreign organization, and these figures are online for us to check.
Yeah.
That Nigerians spend a lot on lifestyle. Right? Spend a lot on lifestyle. So those are part of the lessons I learned. So in 2023, while I was making these changes, in the midst of the planning, I was cutting down on some things.
Wow.
Because I told myself that I like these things, yes, but it has to stay in moderation.
Is that a need?
Is it a need or a want?
A want.
So it had to stay in moderation. So that even my children were like, Mom, let's do this. Mom, let's do that. See, in Nigeria, I'm the one that does the spending. Like my children know they have to control me in supermarket. They don't. I do emotional spending. They're like, okay, Mom, just pass it. We don't need it. But when we got here, they saw me really like being on this matter because I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put it into practice.
Exactly.
So those are one of the lessons I learned in 2023. And most importantly, to trust God.
Yeah.
To trust God every step of the way.
Yeah.
I'll not even lie to you. Today, somebody asked me, she said that you've got 3 kids, you have this, you have that.
Yeah.
How do you
do it? Yeah.
And the first thing I had to tell her was that
God.
It's just God.
Yeah.
I can't give you an explanation to it.
Yeah.
Because even me, I sit back sometimes and it doesn't add up.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave it there.
I mean, you've been so like, I know as a professional, as a mom, as a trainer, you have it all like a triangle.
Like a triangle.
You have it all like a triangle. And like you said, people ask you, how do you do it? And you say it's God. However, I know God is pivotal. Yes, everybody has. I'm very spiritual, and likewise you. I attribute everything I have to God. However, like the Bible said, that faith without good work is in vain.
Is dead.
So you have put in the good work whilst God helped you.
Yeah, true.
So that way you're able to excel, surmount some hurdles, and now you're here.
Yeah.
So how do you think the financial literacy training you've been doing for people, that is almost like a scam? Like people are not using it for their self-development. Like people are not really implementing the knowledge they've learned from you. Because like you said, the research report of the research that was done, the Nigerians spend a lot on lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, let me tell for people around the world that don't know Nigeria very well, we love to look good. We love the good things of life. We love to party, and we party very hard. And for the parties we hold, we dress very well. So like Amina rightly said, for those parties, for you to come for those parties, it doesn't come cheap. The Asoebi is like the outfit that everybody will wear for the party. You have to pay for it, and it doesn't come small. And you have to buy these shoes, accessories, and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that some people that invest in these lifestyle activities don't end up saving for the rainy days.
He says, you're trying to set me up, right?
No, really, I'm not setting, because I find it amazing. Like you said, when you train people, you train them to buy needs and not wants.
And not wants, yeah.
So are you saying after training these people on the things to or how to invest and save money, they still end up using all their life savings to buy lifestyle?
Okay, so and that is a very important question. And I would like us individually also to ponder on these questions, right? Because God has created humans to be able to make a choice. So you find out that at the end of the day, it still boils down to what you decide to do. So you can take all the trainings, you can hear it being said. But the question is, when the chips are down, when you're faced in that situation, what do you do? So I will boldly say that a lot of people take the trainings. A lot of people do. And I'll share something with you afterwards.
Okay.
You know, but I even like that looking good.
I like it
because it really makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's so nice. And that's one thing I like about Nigerians. We have a good way of making ourselves happy. But it shouldn't be at the detriment of your well-being.
Exactly.
As it were.
Yeah.
Not just financial well-being, because your financial well-being can affect every other thing. You can go sick by being broke.
You're right.
Your family will not be happy. A lot of marriages have even separated because of the foundational problem of lack of funds.
You're right.
And on and on and on. And then has caused people to go into fraudulent activities. So let's just leave that aside.
Yeah.
But it is a choice.
Yeah.
God has created humans to be able to make a choice.
Yeah.
So meaning that at the end of the day, no matter what you're taught, you still have to make your choice.
Yeah.
So now, for some people, they may need to stay away from these things for a bit. For some, they may need to cut down.
Yeah.
Some can afford both.
Yeah.
Save, still. So it's like that. You need to know where to fall. Now, if I'm going to save a little, so something that we talk about is budgeting, planning, needs and wants.
Yeah.
All these things are tied together.
Yeah.
So now you should be able to say no. When somebody comes to share Ashwebi and you can't afford it. Somebody has brought lists to me to buy, and it was back to back. Some people's children were getting married. So it's 45,000, it's 35,000 and everything.
Yeah.
One brother, I said, can I just have the scarf?
Yeah.
The gele. What's the color? Is red. I probably have red lace.
Exactly.
You have to drop your pride in this matter. If you like, share souvenir and don't give me. But those are the kind of choices you begin to make. To tell yourself. I remember when I left the commercial bank, I was tired. You know banking now, marketing. When they cut targets for you like this, you'll be sleeping and be dreaming about it. So when I left banking, I mean, the banks used to pay well, right?
Yeah.
When I left bank, people would ask me, how did you leave banking? How? And I told them that I said I had stopped buying some things. I've told myself that I don't need to buy them. I mean, in the bank, it was a big deal carrying a designer bag and all that. I don't need it. It's not as if I could do without it.
Exactly.
So that's just what I just told people. I said I had to cut down on those things because it was brooding down our neck. So you have those choices to make, right, on these things. Having said that, there are people who put these lessons into practice. I, for one, I was not born with financial literacy. I learned it because, and your interest matters. When we joined the bank, I'll just mention this. When training school, when some senior staff will come in and they begin to share with us that, if you can save, you can travel abroad with your family, you can buy shares. I found that really intriguing. For me, I just told myself, I said, you know what? Let us start early.
Starting early.
So the first year that we joined GTB, GT sold shares. I remember the public offer was 10 naira for a share or something of that nature. GT sold shares. Shortly after that, Zenith sold shares. So I will never forget. I bought shares of 100,000 naira. I think GT shares was about 9 something, but altogether it was 100,000 shares. I have gotten returns on that shares over and over again. What over 100? What is 100? They will declare bonus sometimes, and sometimes they will declare 1 for 1 share, and GT pays returns twice a year. Now I'm not advertising, I'm just talking about shares generally and some little investments we can do. Of course, the share market went down, GT is still doing good and all that. So you have a choice to make. So now if you get your salary and you can afford Ashwebi, why not? But if you can't, stay put for a while. Nothing is going to bite you or
Yeah.
reduce your name or anything.
Yeah.
There are a group of women that we teach financial literacy every year. We do, in fact, now we do trainings online, and I'm so grateful to be part of that. We just do it for free and everything. And it touches me when young women begin to share stories of how they started fish farming, how they started trading, and these are life stories. We have groups, and maybe after this I'll even show it to you to see what we have done and God has helped us to do.
Yeah.
Right? So some people make decisions to do these things.
Yeah.
And it's mind-blowing how even if it's out of 100, one person decides to do,
Yeah.
it makes me really happy,
yeah.
about it. So at the end of the day, it's your choice to
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
It's your choice to make.
I mean, now you said something about, let me just cut you short there. Something very profound just struck me from what you said. You said that is a choice.
It's a choice.
And it has to be intentional.
Absolutely.
So it can't, it's not a wishy-washy like process. So you have to really commit to doing this. So if you begin to say, okay, next month I will save, then you squander this month's on. Next month will come and you don't have a particular plan, you still squander it, and by the time you say Jack, you're already in December.
Yeah.
And like you said, when financials are down, people are led to some fraudulent activities, right? So now that we are starting the year now, what do you advise? Are there some like nuggets you can share to help our listeners start the year right with their finances and start the year right with their budgeting, everything? Is there anything you can share?
Okay, we'll just share something in a little bit.
Yeah.
But these are topics that sometimes it's necessary to like really go into them one after the other. But we'll just look at it generally.
Yeah.
We've always heard of SMART goals. And oftentimes people are like, I've heard of SMART goals, I've heard of SMART goals. But it is real. Like you said, wishy-washy. Now, if you have a desire in your head and you don't practicalize it, it remains a wish. You have to put action. It remains a wish and a dream. You have to put actions to it. What does the Bible say? Faith without works is total dead. So now it has to be specific, measurable, actionable, realizable, and time bound. So now if I'm going to say, oh, this year I want to do something different, and oftentimes a lot of people say, oh, I don't earn so much, oh, my bills are not even able to, how do I begin to save? So I'll just drop a formula of how we can do this. So like if you have 100%, because most times I like to use figures, numbers to give you a real picture.
Clarity.
So let's say you have 100%. Let's say, for lack of a better, let me say 100,000. Let's just say 100,000 naira. Now 10% is usually your tithes or something you give to God. 20% should be your savings. Another 20 should be for investment. Then the 50 left is for you. So now, as much as possible, try to squeeze out something for savings. Even if you don't have much for investment, guess what? What you save, you begin to put it together and then you invest. There's something that women really like to do, and I like to talk to women a lot. You know why? Women are like the financial managers of a home. They are like I don't know, most women. I've heard of a few people, but they are the ones that really affect the map and the trajectory of how things run in a home. So if you are able to keep money to save, and you see a lot of women do ajo, what we call ajo, what we call what else? Susu, all that. And one time we were looking at it in the office and we realized that a lot of people save money 6 months, 5 months, 12 months. When you collect the money, what did you do with it? And sincerely, I want us to ask ourselves that question. And some of us just sat and said, one will say, I don't even know what I did with the money. And the person will say, I bought one this thing, the thing has even spoiled. So we decided that, you see, sometimes you may not be able to invest alone. For example, I may see a land I want to buy, and the land is 500,000 or 1 million or something. And I know that my savings cannot buy it. What we decided was that we will do a job for 6 months. When we collect the money, we will buy a land together. And we trusted people. I'm not just saying just anybody. So that what we now did was that when we do that ajo, I would have saved maybe I saved 300 at the end of the 6 months, another person 300, we're able to buy a land.
Yeah.
And then a year, 2 years down the line, we sold the land for a profit, and then we shared the money. So you can do stuff like that. So what am I trying to say? Savings builds up to being able to do an investment.
Yeah.
Now let's use the SMART rule, for example. Let's say you want to save 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000 the next 1 year. You will tell yourself that I want to save, being specific now, I want to save 5,000 naira every month. You measure it. That is the measure of it. Is it possible? Is it not possible? You've checked all that out. It has to be achievable.
Yeah.
Is it achievable? From my current salary, can I actually put 5,000 aside?
Yeah.
And please, while I'm saying that, I'm also going to throw this out there. There are a lot of things we spend money, and that's where the budget comes in. Ask yourself sincerely how much you spend on things like data, human hair, and those other things are wants that you may be able to do without. So see if what you can bring out, reduce from it, from those things, and honestly cut it down. And tell yourself, I will keep 5,000 every month for the next 10 months. It has to be specific and time bound. That at the end of the year, I want to have saved so amount. Do you know that 5,000 you keep aside will give you 60,000 every year?
At the end of the year.
It may look like nothing, but it is something. When I first joined GTL, I'm trying to use these stories to just put some, to bring it home, right? The GT Assurance, which is now, what is the assurance company? I can't remember what it's called now, but then it started with GT Assure. So they started all these products that you can save and all that. We opened accounts for the children then. And what we're putting in was 5,000 a month. I mean, like, they just direct debits. It's not such a big deal. I mean, 5,000, I can live without you. Worst case, I'll not do data small, things like that. In a year, that's 60K. Now, by the time it is 10 years, guess how much that is. Yes, there's the issue of time value of money and all that. But if you had not saved, would you have gotten that money? Imagine how you can just sit down, you're broke, and there's 300,000 in your child's account. Do you understand? As in, you can easily just pull it and just do something on that spot with it. So that's how it was. And if you say like, okay, 5,000, just let it go, tie it to one child that you just, and I always tell people, once you give birth, open an account for that child. And just put a direct debit of 1,000, 2,000 or something. Imagine that child getting to 10 years, 18 years. School fees, what is school fees at that time, that you will not be able to pay for the child. So all that, so those are the kind of things that you may begin to do this year to be more practical about it. Don't just write it down. Write it down, Have your vision board, have it. But while you're looking at that vision board, what am I going to do to achieve this?
Deliberately.
If you tell yourself that this year I'm going to study, I'm going to learn financial literacy, go online and begin to download materials. Don't just say it and drop it aside. Because if you say it and just drop it aside, you will wake up in June,
I tell you,
and realize that
half year,
oh boy, I didn't do anything about
half
this.
year is gone.
Half year is gone. So I'll just say that, and most importantly, trust God this year. Commit it in God's hands. As you're saying, God, I want to do this, take it to Him. A lot of times with this period, a lot of people are doing fasting, praying and all, while writing prayer requests. Also write the things you want to do. Not just, oh God, give me, I want how many millions this year, I want my business to do this year, I want to become a this year. What are you going to do this year to achieve those things, right? So write them down, present it to God and pray about it, and ask Him for the grace and ability to do it, and begin to do it. When Jesus asked, when Jesus was walking on water, and Peter said, Lord, is that you? And said, bid me come if it is you. God said, come. Jesus said, come. He stepped out and started to move. Doubting. But once you get what I'm trying to say. Once the weather changed and everything, he started to sink. But you see, he had to take a step first. There has to be a step first. So write down what you need to do and begin to take a step. Speak to God about it. And relationships. Relationships are very, very key. You need human beings to achieve what you want to achieve. You see, this is our entitlement mentality of like, I beg, if you know the, I beg, I'll close this case, I'll delete his number. I'm not saying keep bad people with you.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. People that are not positive and all that. That's not what I'm saying. But genuinely look at those relationships.
Exactly.
What was your role in it?
Yeah.
Right? So before you begin
Did you bring value?
Did you bring...
Did you bring value?
Did you bring value?
Exactly.
That person is, when you beg her for money, say, I beg you should go. You now delete.
Yeah.
Don't be too quick.
Exactly.
What was your role?
Exactly.
What part did you play?
Yeah.
Did you follow up? Are you someone that is only when you're looking for money that you're sending a text to say, oh, I said I should greet you. How do you expect that person to feel?
Exactly.
You know? So whatever you want to do, make your own plans to take a step.
Yeah.
If you want to take a loan from someone, have your equity.
Yeah.
Don't wait and say, I'm going to ask my uncle for 1 million naira. 1 million naira is not easy. But imagine that you have saved 200,000.
Yeah.
Imagine that you have saved 300,000 and you say, uncle, please, give me 500,000. They say, I need 500. How much do you have? Say, okay, I'm able to save 200.
Yeah.
But don't you think the person will be impressed?
Exactly.
Yeah. Even in the bank, they ask for equity contribution.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So these are just a few things I can just mention because they're just a whole lot of... If you take investment, it's a topic on its own. If you take savings, it's a topic of its own. And like that.
Ooh. I mean,
I've talked
you've really... You have taken over the podcast.
Talking too much.
I mean, we should give you... we have to give you another series on your own.
Yes, I will. Actually, I will.
Another series.
I will.
I mean, you've given us so much. Like, if you're listening to this podcast and you've not learned anything, then we are sorry.
Honestly, I have even learned.
Amina has really
I have even learned for myself now.
Yeah, I've also learned because I wish I had come with pen and paper to take notes, but because she's my friend, I can go behind doors and get more information, right? So, Amina has, in rounding off, she has really given us loads and loads of ideas, nuggets on how to start the year, right? And she rightly said that financial financial management is key. Very key. Financial abuse could also cause your mental health
absolutely
to degrade.
It's not easy to be broke. Do you like being broke?
I don't want to be broke at all. Okay, so now in rounding off, I mean, can you tell us how to prioritize self-care so that we don't break down mentally in our finance with our financial management? How can we prioritize health, self-care, prioritize our mental health to ensure that, because I think he's the same person that can actually manage funds and manage finances better. How do we prioritize our personal life to ensure we make our financial goal a success?
And this is also something that I am also learning, right? And I've decided that, okay, I'll try and do, because I remember I was having a conversation with another financial literacy trainer.
Okay.
And we're talking about life insurance, right? And the person asked me that, what is your greatest asset? And I went about, I knew the person was referring to me.
Yeah.
And I said, it's God. She just started laughing. You know it's you, right? And we started laughing. So it was like, how do you take care of you? Because if you don't have you, all these children, they are saying, this thing, what doing? We're running around for the children.
Exactly.
So if you're not there, then who will take care of them?
Yeah.
So these are things that we should think, and it's a very important. It's not being selfish, as it were, of, there's just self-love, this. Yeah. Well, I'm not going into all that, but just taking care of yourself. So then you have things that come up like eating healthy, exercising and all. But there are a lot of factors that can affect, because sometimes we say we eat healthy, we exercise, and one kind problem or a challenge comes your way and just bring me that bowl of ice cream. I can't kill myself. It's actually soothing, right? When you take sweet things, it's actually soothing. So, but we have to also be deliberate about that.
And balance it.
Yeah. You have to be deliberate about that and balance it. We're talking about mindfulness in the office recently, and we're watching a video about mindfulness. Yeah. Very lovely video and everything. And there was something I learned from there.
Yeah.
And he was teaching, he said, you need to take a few minutes to just be mindful of you.
I'm doing that right now.
Yeah, just be mindful of you. And there were some exercises about being mindful. Just be mindful of where you are. Yeah. Being here.
Yeah.
Here and here. Here and HEAR. So you hear the things around you because you are here, present. So you realize that if you sit down quietly and realize that you are here. Do you know you hear the fridge?
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear my fridge?
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
You hear the crickets.
You hear the fridge?
Yeah.
If you're inside, if you're outside, you hear the birds, you hear the wind or the breeze or the trees or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really soothing. You can also, another thing is the thoughts. We worry a lot. I don't know about you, but me, sometimes, you're a very positive person. I always tell you, you're very positive. And anytime I speak to you, you're always having one positive thing or the other to say.
Yeah.
So these thoughts come through our mind, but what we do with them matters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What we do with them matters. Do you allow them stay?
Yeah.
Do you brood on them? My husband will say, "You're brooding." Do you brood on them?
Yeah.
Or you just tell them to leave you alone?
Yeah.
And let them go. Okay, you've passed, Abi. Bye-bye. Just carry your
Wahala.
and go, especially negative thoughts.
Exactly.
Wandering thoughts and all that. There's one scripture that I keep holding there, because anytime I go back to that, it really helps me. It says, do not be anxious in Philippians.
For nothing.
Do not be anxious about anything. But in everything.
Give thanks.
In prayer and petition, present your request to the Lord, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guide your hearts and your mind.
Preach it.
In Christ Jesus.
Preach it.
You know, so I always realize that anytime I'm getting anxious, I just go to God and pray about it and just drop it. And sometimes while you're praying, you're still analyzing, then I praise.
Yeah.
I just put on our songs. I thank God for Nigerian songs, though.
Yeah.
We have a lot of danceable praise songs, and I just do that, and then it lifts up the
Your
body.
spirit.
So this year, those are the things for me
Yeah.
that I've picked on to do, and I'm going to be deliberate about what goes into my mind.
Exactly.
Listening to the word from me, and seeing if I can. Of course, I have school work to do, but I'm going to see how I can inculcate other things that I can read to help me, listen to help me. And then there are the physical ones. Because I realize that if your mind is not settled, you see that plan to lose weight,
it cannot work.
It cannot work. It's just that for some of us, when we worry, we just shrink naturally. Those are the kind of things, that's the kind of things that make me just lose weight. So, but for some people, it makes them eat a lot. You are depressed and everything. So, we'll come to the physical. Be deliberate about taking walks. Even if you don't want to go and register in the gym and all, I find taking walks really soothing. So, I'm putting my earpiece, I'm listening to scriptures or something, and I'm taking long walks. So, for our health too is really good. It's painful when you hear that somebody slept and didn't wake up, or somebody slumped and died. Nobody can say what tomorrow holds, right? But just enjoy that moment of take 30 minutes. Especially women, we do a lot. We do a whole lot. Take 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Just take a walk. Walk out of the house. Just walk. You know, in a safe area, please. But just walk. You know, if you can go to the gym, it's good. If you can't, do your dancing. Put your music in the house. Just dance. And that is even good exercise as well.
Ooh. We've come to the end of today's series. Amina has really given us those edges, and I don't think we will be able to finish this prescription by
it's all year long.
All year on,
it's all year long.
It's a year-long prescription she has given us. Thank you, Amina, for coming by.
Thank you,
Kamaka. And thank you
appreciate you
coming at a very short notice.
Thank you.
We'll see you again. So stay put, and we'll see you again.